Your mind is not weak because you lack intelligence. It is weak because too many things are allowed to enter it. Every notification interrupts your focus. Every pointless opinion pulls your attention in another direction. Every hour of mindless scrolling trains you to react before you think. Then, at the end of the day, you feel exhausted, not because you built something difficult, but because your attention was pulled apart 100 times. The modern world does not need chains to control people. It controls them through distraction. It keeps them overstimulated, emotionally reactive, mentally scattered, always consuming, never thinking long enough to see clearly. Machiavelli spent his life studying power, not power as people pretend it exists, power as it actually works. He understood that the person who sees clearly while everyone else is confused gains an advantage. The person who controls his reactions becomes harder to manipulate. And the person who controls his attention controls the direction of his life. This video is not about becoming cold. It is not about becoming cruel. It is about becoming mentally difficult to move. You are about to learn 5 rules for sharpening your focus, controlling your impulses, and building a mind that cannot be easily distracted, provoked, or manipulated. And the 4th rule is the one most people misunderstand, because they think they are being honest with their emotions, when in reality, they are letting temporary feelings make permanent decisions. Before we begin, remember this. Your mind should be your weapon, not your weakness. Your attention is one of the most valuable things you own, and most people give it away for free. They give it to notifications, arguments, gossip, news they cannot control, people they do not even respect. They wake up and immediately open their phones. Before they decide what matters, the world decides for them. Someone sends a message, someone posts an opinion, someone creates a problem, and suddenly their morning belongs to everybody except themselves. That is not freedom. That is obedience disguised as convenience. Focus is not a mood. It is not something you wait to feel. Focus is command. It is the ability to place your attention on one target and keep it there while everything around you begs for access. Most people do not fail because they lack talent. They fail because they cannot stay with one difficult task long enough to become dangerous at it. They begin. They get uncomfortable. They check the phone. They return. They lose momentum. They begin again. By the end of the day, they have been busy for 10 hours and completed nothing important. Imagine 2 people starting the same business. The first checks email every 5 minutes. He reacts to every message. He changes direction whenever someone gives an opinion. He spends more time consuming advice than applying it. The second chooses one important task every morning. He protects the first 2 hours of his day. No social media, no unnecessary messages, no random input. After 1 year, the difference between them is no longer small. It is enormous. One person has trained distraction. The other has trained concentration. Machiavelli understood that scattered forces are weak forces. A ruler who divides his attention across too many threats becomes vulnerable. The same is true inside your mind. When your attention is scattered, your effort loses force. When your attention is concentrated, ordinary effort becomes powerful. That is why a focused person often appears calm. He does not react to everything. He does not explain himself constantly. He does not chase every opportunity. He knows where his attention is going, and he protects it. Here is the rule. Before the world gets access to you, decide what deserves your attention. Choose one important task. Do it before opening the door to noise. Your first hour should not belong to strangers. It should belong to your mission. Most people believe improvement means adding more habits, more books, more goals, more information, more routines. But a sharper mind is often built through subtraction. Before adding another productivity system, remove one distraction. Before chasing another goal, remove one commitment that no longer matters. Before consuming more advice, remove the mental garbage already filling your head. Many people are not confused because life is complicated. They are confused because they refuse to cut. They keep conversations that drain them. They keep people who create chaos. They keep apps that destroy their mornings. They keep goals they never truly wanted. They keep arguing with people who have no influence over their future. Then they say, "I need more clarity." No, you need less noise. There is a reason silence makes some people uncomfortable. Silence exposes what distraction was hiding. It reveals unfinished work, avoided decisions, uncomfortable truths, the life they know they should change. That is why noise can become addictive. It gives people something to react to, so they do not have to think about what matters. Machiavelli studied people by watching what they did, not what they claimed. He stripped away appearance. He looked for motive, pattern, incentive, weakness. That kind of clarity requires mental space. You cannot study reality while your mind is crowded with meaningless input. Start with 3 cuts. Remove one source of digital noise. Remove one relationship that only creates confusion. Remove one daily habit that weakens your energy. Do not remove everything at once. Remove what does the most damage. A sculptor does not create by adding more stone. He creates by cutting away what does not belong. Your mind works the same way. Clarity is not always something you find. Sometimes it is what remains after you stop carrying everything. You cannot control your future if you cannot control your impulses. You cannot build discipline if every urge gets a vote. You cannot become mentally powerful while obeying every feeling that enters your mind. Most people imagine self-control is tested in big moments. It is not. It is trained in small ones. You open an app without thinking. You postpone the difficult task. You break a promise to yourself. You say, "Just this once." Then you repeat it until weakness feels normal. By the time real pressure arrives, your mind has already spent months practicing surrender. Imagine receiving a message that attacks your ego. Your first impulse is to respond immediately. Your heart rate rises. Your body tightens. You begin writing. You want to defend yourself. You want to hurt them back. You want relief. But relief is not the same as control. So you stop. You put the phone down. You wait 30 minutes. When you return, half the message you were about to send looks foolish. The emotion was real, but it was temporary. This is the difference between reaction and decision. A reaction serves the emotion. A decision serves the outcome. Machiavelli understood timing. He knew that a badly timed move could destroy the value of a good strategy. The same principle applies to your behavior. The right response at the wrong time can still become a mistake. Self-command begins when you stop believing every thought. A thought can appear without being true. An urge can appear without deserving action. Anger can appear without deserving a response. Fear can appear without deserving obedience. When anger says, "Act now," pause. When fear says, "Avoid it," examine the risk. You are not your first impulse. You are the decision you make after observing it. Think of your mind as a kingdom. Fear is an advisor. Anger is an advisor. Desire is an advisor. Insecurity is an advisor. They may bring information, but none of them should rule. A powerful mind listens, then decides. It does not allow the loudest emotion to become king. You do not need to control another person's life to control them. You only need to control their emotional state. Make them angry. Make them insecure. Make them afraid. Make them desperate to prove themselves. Once emotion takes over, their behavior becomes predictable. That is why emotional control is not a soft skill. It is protection. Machiavelli understood that visible disturbance can become exploitable information. When people know exactly what provokes you, they know where to apply pressure. When they know you fear rejection, they can control you with distance. When they know you need approval, they can control you with praise. When they know you hate being misunderstood, they can keep you explaining yourself forever. You hand them the map, then act surprised when they use it. Emotions move in waves. If you act at the peak, you often make permanent decisions from temporary chemistry. You send the message, end the relationship, quit the job, Start the argument. Make the threat. Then the wave passes, and now you have to live with what you did while it was high. A disciplined person lets the wave fall. Then he decides. This does not mean suppressing emotion. Suppression is pretending nothing happened. Control is admitting what happened without allowing it to choose your behavior. Anger can become a boundary. Fear can become preparation. Pain can become information. Rejection can become distance. Pressure can become discipline. Your emotion may be real, but it does not automatically deserve the steering wheel. Emotions move in waves. If you act at the peak, you often make permanent decisions from temporary chemistry. You send the message, end the relationship, quit the job, start the argument, make the threat. Then the wave passes, and now you have to live with what you did while it was high. A disciplined person lets the wave fall. Then he decides. This does not mean suppressing emotion. Suppression is pretending nothing happened. Control is admitting what happened without allowing it to choose your behavior. Anger can become a boundary. Fear can become preparation. Pain can become information. Rejection can become distance. Pressure can become discipline. Your emotion may be real, but it does not automatically deserve the steering wheel. Mistakes do not make you weak. Repeating them without learning does. A weak person makes a mistake and protects his ego. He blames timing, people, luck, circumstances, anything that allows him to avoid the lesson. A stronger person studies the mistake like evidence. What happened? What did I ignore? Where was I emotional? What pattern did I repeat? What rule would prevent this next time? That is how pain becomes intelligence. Machiavelli understood that reality punishes delusion. A ruler who cannot identify his own weakness becomes easy to defeat. A person who refuses to examine failure remains controlled by the same weakness that caused it. Imagine launching a project that fails. The easy response is shame. You avoid looking at the numbers. You distract yourself. You tell people the market was bad. Then months later, you repeat the same mistake with a new name. The strategic response is different. You review the evidence. The offer was unclear. The timing was poor. The research was weak. You ignored signs because you were emotionally attached. Now the failure becomes useful. You create a checklist. You test the offer earlier. You ask better questions. You build a system that makes the same weakness harder to repeat. That is mental evolution, not positive thinking. Correction. Your mind is being trained every day. There is no neutral. Every distraction trains interruption. Every reaction trains impulsiveness. Every excuse trains weakness. Every act of focus trains control. Every moment of restraint trains discipline. Every mistake studied honestly trains intelligence. The world will continue trying to access your attention. People will continue trying to provoke you. Technology will continue competing for your focus. You cannot control all of that, but you can control what enters, what stays, what receives authority. Protect your attention. Remove what weakens you. Govern your impulses. Build emotional immunity. Turn mistakes into systems. This is not about becoming cruel. It is about becoming clear. It is not about feeling nothing. It is about refusing to let every feeling become your master. It is about becoming so disciplined that other people cannot easily control you. So decide now. Will your mind continue belonging to every notification, emotion, opinion, and distraction? Or will it finally belong to you? If this video gave you something useful, click like. Subscribe for more videos about focus, discipline, emotional control, and strategic thinking. And share this with someone whose mind has become too crowded with noise. Remember, a sharp mind does not react to everything. It sees clearly, chooses carefully, and moves only when the move matters.